What's going on, everyone? Happy Thursday. Hopefully everyone is doing well and having a great day so far. It is time now for the Thursday weather update for Thursday, November 21st, 2024. If you're new to my channel, welcome to my channel. This is where I do the daily weather update where I spend roughly 10 to 15 minutes, sometimes more, going over the expected weather for the United States. We talk about the short-term weather, and we talk about the forecast for the next 7 to 10 days. Tropical weather, severe weather, winter weather, drought conditions, and everything else in between. Today we are going to be talking about the ongoing storms in the West Coast and the ongoing storms in the East Coast. So if you're new to my channel, subscribe down below. Give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell, share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. First off, we do have a few headlines to go over, a few things I do want to show you. Then we'll take a look at the latest warnings and advisories. We'll go over the models. We'll also take a look at the models for next week being Thanksgiving. We'll look at the latest drought update. And of course, we will take a look at the long-range update from the Climate Prediction Center. Starting off with this. Remember yesterday I said there could be a few stronger storms with those storms that were moving through Pennsylvania and the Mid-Atlantic. Well, not only did that happen, there were several severe thunderstorm warnings in western Pennsylvania, there was also a tornado warning. And with that tornado warning, there has now been a confirmed tornado Wednesday night near Pittsburgh. And this tornado was near Belmar, Pennsylvania. It was an EFO tornado, which means it had wind speeds between 65 and 85 miles per hour. This was only 10 miles from Pittsburgh. The tornado occurred around 5 p.m. I hate to even say this, but it was a miss for the Storm Prediction Center, which had no threat of severe weather yesterday. They didn't even have marginal risk yesterday. So yeah, it was kind of a miss, but it happens from time to time. All right, take a look at this. This is from CIRA on Twitter. A remarkable day-long view of the, quote, bomb cyclone driving the atmospheric river currently impacting the West Coast. Look at this. Perfect circulation. What an impressive storm system this is. And it's so impressive that right now, in portions of Washington State, there are over 100,000 people reported without power. Now here, say in a low mountain Oregon, I don't know how true that actually is. I would think there are at least some people without power in Oregon. And California does have over 10,000 without power. And for some reason, we are currently seeing some power outages down in Georgia and Alabama, but Washington really stands out. And unfortunately, I have some bad news. There's another storm system that's going to develop and come into play this week, and yes, it has trended stronger once again, so that's not a good thing. Now, for the storm system in the east, there is a winter aspect to this storm. Look at portions of New York State, generally west of the New York State Thruway and south of the east-west Thruway as well, 87 and Route 90, snow for you, and this includes Pennsylvania. Look at the Laurel Highlands here on this map from the Weather Prediction Center. Anywhere from 6 to 12 inches of snow is expected there. Scranton, Pennsylvania, you could see over 6 inches of snow. The Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania, yeah, 4+ inches of snow is possible for you. And take a look in West Virginia. You're seeing this correctly. 12 to 18 inches with locally in the higher elevations, 18+ inches of snowfall are possible through 7 p.m. on Saturday evening. All right, taking a look at the latest satellite picture, you can see on the West Coast, there's that storm system. It's continuing to spin. And you can also see there is continuing to be a feed of moisture coming into the West Coast. And you do note here, or I do note here, there seems to be another storm system developing. Well, the models are showing that as well. Taking a look at the national satellite picture, it's the tale of two storms. One in the West Coast, one in the East Coast, in the Northeast, and down in the South, things are quiet at this time. Taking a look at the radar picture, we do have a developing area of low pressure off the coast of New Jersey and Long Island, and that is going to move northward and then get pulled inland and then drop back south, eventually weaken, and then yet another low will develop east of Maine. You do see the upper level low is still back across the Great Lakes. There have been some snows today across Chicago, Indianapolis. Springfield looks to be just east of you. Columbus, you may see some snow showers tonight. Cincinnati, Ohio, you're about to see some snow showers as well. Then we go out to the West Coast, and there still is heavy rainfall pounding Northern California, just north of the San Francisco, Oregon, Medford, Oregon. You're seeing some rainfall. And Seattle, Washington and up near Portland, Oregon, you are still seeing some showers at this time. It has backed off a little bit, giving the crews a chance to maybe get a handle on those power outages. I've seen a lot of reports of down wires, down trees. I've heard of there being flooding issues in California. Yeah, this is really bad. Meanwhile, if you're down in Southern California, Los Angeles, San Diego, you're going, well, nothing going on here. It's not a bad day. Yeah, that's really the way it is. It's a tale of two sides of your state at this time. Taking a look at the National Hazards Map, we can see winter storm warnings are up for portions of New York State, Pennsylvania, West Virginia, and south of there, look at these purple boxes. Those are freeze warnings up for North Carolina, South Carolina, Alabama, even Arkansas now seeing freeze warnings. And there are winter storm warnings still up for portions of California, and there are also flood watches up out there as well. Even some winter storm warnings in Idaho, and even winter weather advisories up in Montana at this time. Tropical situation, nothing to talk about there. Taking a look at the Storm Prediction Center, there is an elevated risk of wildfires today near the Jacksonville, Tallahassee area in Florida, and tomorrow that does include Orlando, so we'll have to keep our eyes on that. Things could be dry. Nothing to really talk about in terms of severe weather over the next several days. You can see here, no severe risk, but again, any day could feature a surprise strong storm. There was a couple yesterday and that one tornado. There is still a high risk of excessive rainfall issued by the Weather Prediction Center for today in Northern California. Heavy rainfall is going to continue. The ground just cannot handle anymore. You've had a lot of rainfall and it's continuing. Therefore, the risk of flooding, excessive rainfall, it's high for today. It's also moderate for tomorrow as well in the mountainous region and marginal for day 3, but I want to show you something on the models in just a few moments. There's going to potentially be another storm system. Alright, I have to show you the Weather Prediction Center precipitation amounts, but first I wanted to show you this. Here is the latest drought update, and we can see drought in southeast Pennsylvania and New Jersey. That exceptional drought, it's expanded a little bit. In matter of fact, that red extreme drought, I should say not exceptional, extreme drought, now, yes, has made its way into Philadelphia. The good news is we are getting a little bit of precipitation today. It is helping somewhat. New York City, you're getting heavier precipitation, as is a good chunk of the Northeast. So that's helping, but it's not going to be enough to end this drought by any means. And some of these reservoirs, which are running extremely low, it'll help you a little bit, but it's not going to end this. And taking a look at southwest Texas, you still have drought problems. Still drought problems over the Ohio Valley. Some of it has improved, like Kentucky and your area, and southern Indiana, southern Illinois. That has improved for you. And drought conditions are starting to continue and maybe get a little worse down in portions of Alabama and western Florida. And we can see there are still drought conditions in other areas, but things are improving in some of the areas. We still just have a lot of work to do, and hopefully with this new pattern that's in effect, we can make more dents into these drought-stricken areas. Now taking a look at the precipitation, and you can see here, day 1, still rain in California, day 2, day 3, day 4, 5, you get the point. Finally, by day 7, it starts to calm down there. But hey, look at this on day 6 and day 7. Yeah, you're seeing that system for next week starting to show up in the central region. And by day 7, it's starting to expand northeast. So we have to concern ourselves with what's going to happen on Thanksgiving. More on that in the models in just a little bit. There has been a change. Of course, it's far out. The models always change for systems that far out. Starting off with the latest HRRR model. And we can see here in Northern California, heavy rains will continue. Our area of low pressure, which will be near Long Island tonight, will continue to develop. It will eventually go over land. It'll pretty much do a loop. And you can see here, take a look at this. There's some really heavy snows showing up on the HRRR model for places like Binghamton and eventually the Pocono Mountains in Pennsylvania. Even places like Philadelphia will switch to snow. Probably won't accumulate in Philadelphia, but you will see snowflakes in the air as we head into the day tomorrow. Heavy rainfall will continue for Northern California. And take a look at this near Washington. Yeah, you're seeing yet again an area of low pressure headed towards that region. So, yeah, it's just going to continue. As we head into Saturday, that low over Pennsylvania will eventually exit the coast. A new low will form over New England, and there could be mountain snows with that. Places like northern Maine, maybe even around like the Caribou, Maine. Yep, you're going to see some heavy snow, which, quite frankly, in places like that, you're accustomed to it. Maybe some of you actually like the snow, or maybe you wish it would go back to summer, but the point is it's going to be cold and windy the next couple of days in the northeast, and of course the precipitation will not exit the northeast until about Sunday. The winds may remain, however. We can see as we get into late in the day on Saturday on the HRRR model, things do calm down a little bit on the west coast, but now let me show you the NAM, and we'll use the 12Z run at this time. Here's that storm system in the east. You can see it really winds up, and then it weakens, and then the new low forms. As we head into Saturday evening, watch what happens on the west coast. And then in the Sunday, yep, you're seeing here, yet again, another system may be trying to form out there in the Pacific. We'll have to keep an eye on that. It's going to remain active at least until Monday, maybe Tuesday, before it finally gets a little bit quieter for you. Now let's take a look at the GFS, and we can see here, this is the 12Z run of the GFS. We can see there's that system in the east. You can see it finally exits on Sunday, but take a look at this. Sunday is still a windy day for much of the day. It's going to take until Monday for the winds to finally calm down, and we can see here also on the GFS, as we're headed towards Monday, there's still some precipitation in California, and look at this. Some precipitation maybe down near Los Angeles, and you do need it. Now, it's not going to be a lot of precipitation, but it will be beneficial for your dry ground. We also see Monday evening into Tuesday, a cold front passes through in the northeast. And you know what? This cold front's going to have some meat to it. It is going to be cold in the northern states. And take a look at this. You do see a gradient setting up. Well, what's that going to do? Another system starts to develop Wednesday evening going into Thursday. This is that one we were watching yesterday. May not necessarily be all wintry, but the northern side of it could be. But underneath that, there could be some heavy rainfall. We're going to have to watch and see how this system evolves. It's been showing up on the models. Even the Canadian model now has it. It's just a matter of where is it going to develop, how cold is it going to be, and behind that system, take a look at this. I want to show you something. Look at these temperatures. These are some really cold temperatures. Yes, going into the last Saturday of the month, those are single digits showing up in the northern plains and the upper Midwest. And look at this. Behind that, you're seeing temperatures below zero showing up on the GFS. A really, really cold setup to start December. And if I advance this run of the GFS, yeah, that stays intact. Even the Northeast gets really cold. So none of this record high business. We're done with that for now. We're done. I'm not to say that maybe late December or into January it warms up. There usually is a thaw at some point. But the start of December, for many in the northern states and the Northeast states, is looking really cold. And to be honest with you, the Southeast U.S. is not looking terribly warm. It'll be maybe near normal for you, but if you're anywhere, say, from Atlanta, Birmingham, Alabama on northward, below average temperatures are coming. They are in the picture for you. All right, I also want to show you another model. Let's take a look at the European model. And here's the European perspective for the Thanksgiving potential storm system. And we can see the European from yesterday, since yesterday, has really changed. Remember yesterday it was showing a big snowstorm. Now it's showing this big old giant mess. There goes one piece of energy. Here comes another piece of energy. Yeah, the Euro is just a big mess compared to what it was showing yesterday. Again, we expect changes. When we're talking about systems that are over 150 hours out, they're likely to change in some way, shape, or form on the modeling guidance. I do want to show you one other thing, and that is the GEFS. Take a look at this. Here's that cold air that's in the east now. Here's that parade of storm systems on the west coast. Watch what happens here as I take this into the longer range. Look at this big trough that forms starting over Thanksgiving over much of the U.S. These are below average temperatures. And I want to rewind us. Take a look at the temperature anomalies. We'll use the 2M temperature anomaly. Okay, watch what happens here. You're seeing well below average temperatures for much of the United States. To start December is going to be extremely cold. I'm going to say it. Extremely cold. Below average temperatures. Probably the coldest start to December in several years for many places. And we're not just talking about one day. Should this hold, it will be an extended period. Now, we all know if you're a model fan and you followed the models over the years, sometimes they do back off as we get closer. So we'll have to keep our eyes on this. But right now, the signal is there for a much colder than normal pattern to start December. Something we have not talked about in quite some time to start December. All right, taking a look at the Climate Prediction Center, they're in agreement now. Look at this. Anywhere above the places that I mentioned, like Atlanta, Georgia, Birmingham, Alabama, South Carolina, Louisiana, below average temperatures. This includes the West Coast and the East Coast. Sometimes it's like a seesaw. No, this is uniform. And you can see the greatest area of that is going to be where I showed you on the GFS, in the upper Midwest and the Great Northern Plains. Taking a look at this. Hey, at the same time, you're talking about increased chances of precipitation. So there will be a wintry aspect for some places. Some places will be dealing with wintry weather as well. This is the 6 to 10 day precipitation outlook. A welcome dry stretch may come for portions of Northern California and Oregon. Taking a look now, 8 to 14 day temperature outlook. Look at this. Well below average temperatures from Pennsylvania, straight on back to the Great Northern Plains. You saw it on the GEFS ensemble. It's suggesting temperatures will be below average. Maybe you're a fisherman. Maybe you like to ice fish in the northern states. Well, this is a great start for you. You want to see this. Other people are like, no, 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 I just want sunny and warm. Unfortunately, the sunny part may happen in between, but warm? No, we're not looking at record warmth anymore. We all knew it had to end at some point, and well, it looks like it's starting to do just that. And take a look at this. A few areas in between listed with above average precipitation. Hey, snowpack, if you can build it up in some areas, that is good in the long term for drought conditions, because that runoff is beneficial for reservoirs, streams, keeping the ground wet, and it's also beneficial for cutting out this wildfire business. Wildfires can't spread as fast if the ground is wet, but you do see here in between there are still a few below average precipitation areas, slightly above average in the southeast, being expected in the 8 to 14 day time range, and well below average in the west. Hey, Los Angeles, if you can get any rain out of this on Monday, take it. Alrighty, folks, that does it for the Thursday weather update. We'll have another weather update again tomorrow. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe down below. Hit that notification bell. Share this video with anyone you know, and leave your comments down below. I will see you all again tomorrow. Until I see you again tomorrow, have a fantastic Thursday evening, and thanks for watching.